Okay, don't fall, don't fall. Hi, I'm Bianca and welcome to my channel. So, I recently read the book. It's called Big Magic. Wait. So yeah, I recently read a book and it's called Big Magic and I borrowed it from the library. That's why it's large print version. Hence, I am really very inspired by this book and it made me think a lot and made a lot of reflection. That's why hence I want to do a reflection video on this book. This book is what propels me to start this video, so I'm not sure how it works out, but crossing my fingers, as I guess I should start reflecting based on their chapters. Yeah, there are 5 chapters in this. 5 chapters in this. So the first one is courage. And yes, I understand that like throughout my life, I had never been a courageous person, other than going on to the roller coasters and things like that. But when it comes to like, you know, creating something and then showing it to others, I'm really not that kind of person. So the courageous, as in I've never been a courageous person. I've always, like, if I create something, I would usually not show it to others. But this book really, like, it spoke to me, like how fear is in everyone and it's okay, as in we have to accept fear. We shouldn't like cover fear into a box and then like chuck it into somewhere and like pretend to be courageous and like fearless and stuff like that. But it's okay to have fear along with us, just that we should not let fear overtake us. It made me thought of how like just like negative emotion, being upset, being angry, it's part of human being. That's what the universe created us for. That's why we have those kind of emotions. Hence, we shouldn't just cover it in the box and like just say those are bad emotions and stuff like that. Instead, we should accept it and try to like tell those emotions like, okay, I know I'll work with you. I will not throw you away, but I will work with you. Just let me work on what I want to do. It taught me a lot. It made me thought a lot about how it's okay to have fear. Yeah. So the next chapter is enchantment, and it's about how to be accepting to let creativity enter your mind. You have to open your mind and just be curious of the things around you. Okay, so this author made creativity or inspirations like a person, and inspiration choose who he wants to work with. So you have to be open to it. Like even when an idea came into your mind, no matter how small or how crazy it seems, or how you never thought of it before, if you want to live a creative life, you have to be open to it. You have to say yes to it. For example, I may be interested. I was never really interested in calligraphy, but I had a thought of it of thinking that why don't I try out lettering, because I can't draw. I'm not someone who can draw. So yeah, it made me thought that why don't I try it out? So maybe I'll try it out soon. It makes you think that how the world works, how you have to make yourself presentable, which is in other words open to the world's, to creativity, to inspiration. Yes. So the next chapter is on permission, and she talked about schooling for creativity. Actually, this really taught me, like it has struck me before. You do have to go through further education just to be a creative person, because like what she said, every human being can create something. We are born to create something, just that sometimes we are too focused on work or family or relationships, and then we just disown this creativity in our life. So she talked a lot about how actually we are born to create. That's why we don't have to create something like out of the world and best in the country or on the earth or something like that. We don't have to. And she talked about learning how to draw And then because actually, like, to be honest, everyone has their own style. So I say I can't draw, but it doesn't mean that maybe to me it's look like a child work. But you know, there are a lot of other famous artists around the world that they themselves, they have very different kind of styles of art. So it's not something that you have to learn. It doesn't have to be top notch or something. You just have to create something. Okay, she said something about how schooling is like you need a need for validation, how you need it to validate yourself as a creative person. But like what she said, you don't need to do that. As in, we are all born to create. We are all born to just make something. We all have our own styles, our own uniqueness, our own speciality. Hence, you don't really need to spend like thousands of dollars to get a degree in fine arts or something. No, I'm not saying that it's not good. As in, yes, degree in fine arts, you can really learn a lot. But for a vast majority of us, we won't really think of wanting to be a full-time artist or something like that. I am assuming. Yeah, this is just my assumption. Yeah, we don't expect ourselves to be a full-time artist or a full-time dancer unless you have planned your life to lead that way. Then yes, schooling is for you, because you have all those technical, you know, all those technical terms, all those theory that you need in your life, as in you need in your creative job. But for vast majority of us that just want to create something out of our hobby, out of our job, then we don't really need to go through schooling. We don't need that validation of a cert to say that we are creative. We can learn so many things online now. YouTube, Google. We can learn a lot of things online. Yeah, so yeah, that's what she said. So it made me talk, because when I was young, I thought to be like a dancer, an interior designer, a graphic designer, makeup artist, and things like that. But all these jobs I want to be, I have thought of seriously going for schooling, but she made me thought that it's okay. I don't really need to go through school if I don't intend it to be like my full-time career. Or for now, maybe like 10 years down the road, I was like, okay, I'm focused on, I want to do this. So maybe I like 10 years down the road, then I go for schooling for it. It's not something I have to decide now, since I'm not really sure what I'm passionate about right now. So it's okay, yeah. We can just like explore right now on what we want to do. We can just try out. We can create different things and see what we are very interested in, and then it will lead us back to something. And then if I want to really further gain my knowledge on it, then I can go for schooling. It doesn't mean that I have to decide right now that I've like, okay, I'm going to be a dancer, then I'm going to go for all the lessons in the world, then I'm going to be like go for performance and things like that. If it's not something to my calling, I don't need to go for it. I said I don't need to go for schooling yet. Yeah, that's what chapter 3 makes me reflect most about. Yes. Okay, so chapter 4, persistence. So she talked a lot about what you create doesn't necessarily have to be your job, because when you create something, it should be something that brings you joy, brings you to life. Hence, instead of viewing it that what you create must bring you a job, instead you should be the one trying to view it as a hobby. Like you try to work so that you have time for this to create something, so that you have money and energy to create something. That's what she's saying about. The creativity doesn't own you a living. Like you may not have, you may not feel the kind of spark in your mind that suddenly, oh, you have that big inspiration, big idea that you're gonna make. As it may happen once in a while, doesn't always happen. Yes, that's what she meant. But we shouldn't view this as something to block us away from to create something. Instead, we should continue working towards it. We should continue just create things, and then when we create, this big inspiration, this big idea, this big sudden burst of energy will come into us, and then we will just create things without really realizing the time, without really realize like we have to eat and things like that. Okay, in other words, we don't really need to feel that burst of energy, burst of inspiration every so often. Yeah. Wouldn't you think of it? Like if we always feel that way, wouldn't we be drained out of our energy? Wouldn't it make us have no time for anything else? Hence, she said that even when we don't have this sudden burst of energy, we should still continue creating. We should still open our mind to new things, to be curious about things and create things, because it just sort of give us an outlet to release our creativity. Oh, I realized there's 6 chapters. I'm sorry. Okay, next chapter is trust. For trust, it's a lot on how you have to trust that creating something will lead you somewhere. It doesn't necessarily have to make you the world best author, the world best dancer, the world best artist. Yeah, it doesn't have to. But you have to have trust that this brings you joy and this is what you are created for. And this is what you are brought to life for. You have to trust that the creativity came and worked with you for a reason. Even though you don't know what's the reason right now, even though you think that it's not the best product out there or it's not the best result out there, but you have to have trust that there's a reason why. You don't know what's the reason, and you may never know what's the reason, but our creativity just came to you to give you this gift for you to create this. And what she said, something about doing something that is imperfect is better than something that is perfectly done but not finished. Sometimes you just have to close your eyes and just let it go and just do. So she made it seem very clear about how it's okay when things seems imperfect to you. You just have to keep creating. Yes, you have to have trust in this world that whatever you create is there for a reason. And the last chapter, which is my favorite chapter because it really clung onto my heart. Yeah, divinity. She thought a lot about how we keep thinking, we have this weird sense of perception that in order to be a creative person, we have to suffer. We have to go through the endless nights of not sleeping, not eating, not doing anything, and just to create something that is the best in the world or something like that. But you know, it's not true. It's so outrageously not untrue. Yeah, it's so ridiculous, don't you see? Like, why do we have to go through suffering in order to create something? We actually are meant to create things. Why must we go through this endless cycle of torturing ourselves or just damaging our health and things like that just to create something? No, we don't have to. And we are not meant to anyways. When we do something, it should bring us joy and pleasure instead of deteriorating our health and things like that. Yeah, it's true. For example, if I really love writing, but writing doesn't seem to love me, it just wants to torture me and it just doesn't seem to get it right, then like what she said, just stop writing. It's not bringing you joy. And do something else. Draw. And maybe 5 months down the road or 5 years down the road. Okay, so my camera decided to die on me because it was overheated because I think I recorded too long for this. So yeah, anyways, I was saying, for example, writing doesn't make you joy, then you can draw. This is the main core reason behind chapter 6. So I will end off with a quote that I got from this book, which really spoke to me a lot. It's like my quote of the week or the quote of the few weeks for the number of books I read. But anyways, yeah, it is do whatever brings you to life, then follow your own fascinations, obsessions and compulsions. Trust them. Create whatever causes a revolution in your heart. The rest of it will take care of itself. So did that quote brings you much inspiration as it brings to me? I hope it does. And yeah, this book really is one of the books that really made me talk a lot. And with that, I end off my video here. And you have any other book suggestions, comment down below. Until then, I'll see you next time with much love. Bianca. XOXO. Stop shaking. Wait, sorry. Yeah, so you just this is working.